Hi friends, in this video we see the introduction about superposition theorem, right? So before studying this statement we must know how to solve a network problem. We know already that if circuit has two or more independent source, what we did so far, right? We have used mesh analysis to solve the problem, fine? Sometimes node analysis we have used. But we have one more method that is called superposition theorem, right? This is mainly used when we have two or more independent source. If you have your circuit with only one independent source, don't use superposition theorem, it is no use. Right? When we have two or more independent sources in a circuit, we can go for superposition theorem, right? So what is the main purpose of superposition theorem? We can use if we want to find current through or voltage. Okay, write properly. Current through or voltage across a particular element, we can use superposition theorem, right? So that is very important use of superposition theorem. But first condition must be satisfied, right? The circuit should have two or more independent sources. And another important point we must note about the superposition theorem is this theorem, it is not applicable for power calculation, right? So for power calculation, right? These are all the 3 points we must know whenever we learn about superposition theorem. Now we see the statement. What is that? Okay, here you see superposition theorem states that the voltage across or current through an element. That's what I told you, a particular element in a linear circuit is algebraic sum of voltage or current through that element due to each independent source. So whenever we have to apply superposition theorem, what we have to do is at the same time, what is the next point is when we apply superposition theorem, fine, we should have only one source at a time, right? So remaining source must be either shorted if it is a voltage source or open if it is a current source, right? And total voltage or current through any element is equal to the voltage or current due to individual source. That's what it is telling, right? So what we are going to do here, let us see. We to apply superposition theorem, what we have to do? We have to consider only one independent source at a time, right? That is very important point. While all the sources should be turned off. That means if we have other source as voltage source, replaced by its internal resistance, so make it short. If you have a current source replaced by its internal resistance, that is infinity, so open it. Okay, so for example, what we have to do, let me give one minor example. Suppose let us assume that we have a circuit like this, right? This is voltage source as R1, R2, R3 and R4. So this V2, V1, V2. So when we apply, I want to find the current through I. This is what? To find current through I using superposition theorem, first what we have to do, I find current through I due to V1. Current through I due to V1. How? That is obtained by keeping V1 and short circuit V2. Right? So the circuit becomes like this. Yes? So this is R3, R1, R2, V1. Now I have to find the current through this. So what is that? I is equal to V by R. First I find total current I total, right? So R total is given by R1 plus R2, R3 are parallel. So R total I found. Then substitute here, what you get is I total. That I total will come here. So this is dividing among these two loops. So use current divider rule and find current due to V1, right? Next what we have to do, so current due to this total V1. Then current due to V2. So in that keep V2 and short circuit V1. So what will happen? This will become short and this will be like this. And this one will be like this. This is V2, R3, R1, R2. Again I have to find the current through this. So this is what I, so from this I find I due to V1, some answers. Let us assume X. So here we find again total current, we find V by V2 by, this is V1, here V2 by R total. R total is given by R1, R2 are parallel, which is in series with R3. So R3 plus R1 parallel R2. So we find RT. So IT is equal to V by RT. So here IT will come. This IT is dividing among these two. So from that I can find current. I use current divider rule. So I R2 is IT into R1 divided by R2. So we found that one. So current due to V2. So current due to V2 we found. So what is total current? I is equal to IV1 plus IV2. In this way we have to use superposition theorem. If suppose if it is instead of voltage source it is current source, we have to open it, right? So that is the only difference. I hope you understand superposition theorem, right? I will upload videos for solving the problem. You can see that. Thank you.